you, Paul, for inviting me to be here and to be with this interesting event. Paul basically helped make my life being easy because he did the introduction to the emerging technologies and what's going on in the field of construction. I woke up this morning when I was driving, I was thinking, what I'm going to do with a group of construction companies. And I think the biggest testimonial of the change in your industry is me being here. A person who's coming from an education and research and technology institutions coming and delivering a keynote speech to you. And I think that's a testimonial of where your industry is going and where is also the future opportunities lies. So thank you again for inviting me to be part of this distinguished event. And what I would like to do with you today is to run you through the agenda, I would say, of the UAE government using Sharjah as a case, share with you what we are trying to do with the Sharjah Research and Technology Park, and then end with a small example of how we basically approach construction industry. So the Sharjah Research and Technology Park is an initiative, as Mr. Tariq explained, by the government of Sharjah to reinforce and promote innovation and spark technology development and technology advancement and technology transfer into this region. Sharjah is known for the past 50 years to be the center of education. The biggest university city probably in this region is in Sharjah, where we have more than 22 colleges and universities and institutions all in one place, more than 47,000 students, 2,000 PhDs from 100 nationalities. And we do this with the conviction that we can only do this through real partnership. A real partnership between academia, private sector, and government. So, as I said, this is a vision of His Highness, the ruler of Sharjah, a man who is almost 80 years, with 2 PhDs. And his conviction manifests not only in the fact that he really understands science and education inside out, but also he walks the talk. We invest a good $1 billion every year on developing the ecosystem in Sharjah. As a matter of fact, if you read in the newspaper today, we just finished and inaugurated today another R&D building at the University of Sharjah, which happens to be the biggest university in this country. So the determination and the drive and the understanding has been there with Sharjah for the past 50 years. What are we trying to do with innovation is no difference than any other city around the world. Every city around the world is trying to do the same thing, is trying to come up with the next enablers for their own people and for their own young people and for their economy to thrive. So we're trying to build an innovation ecosystem. But building an innovation ecosystem is not only about the building and the infrastructure. It's most importantly is about building people. Paul explained to us different technologies. We would not be able to do and implement these technologies if we don't have the right set of people who understand these technologies and understand how to deal with them. So my call to you as an industry is to invest in people, because this is what really will be the game changer for your industry going forward. The second thing is we want to generate employment for our young people across this region. As a matter of fact, our first project, which happened to be a 3D construction company, is managed by a graduate from the American University of Sharjah, and we have 8 engineers working on this project, developing this technology, making sure that it is commercially viable, and bringing best practices. And the third one, we want to catalyze on knowledge economy and invest in the future. We believe that these technologies that Paul explained, whether VR or AR or robotics or data, are all emerging technologies. And if we as construction industry start investing in these things, I think we can, gain a lot going forward. We have some examples in this country with, for example, Careem, which was bought by Uber for $3 billion, with Souq.com, which was bought by Amazon for $300 million. This example can be replicated here. The government of UAE is actually, we are lucky here to be one of the probably few governments in the world that supersede the private sector. And as I said, this is just one example of what UAE government doing to create a platform for you to take advantage of and excel and be more competitive in a world that is really very challenging going forward. So we want to invest in the future, and we want to build the next unicorn, and we want to build the future construction, or the construction company of the future, and construction talents of the future, and construction technologies of the future. We want to build it here, and we want you all to benefit from this. A little bit background about the Sharjah Research and Technology Park. This is a free zone dedicated for research and development and innovation purposes. And what distinguishes us from any other free zone, that we are linked strongly to education and research institutions. As I said earlier, we have within the Sharjah University city more than 22, actually it's not 17, more than 22 colleges and institutions and universities. So we have real critical mass. But this project is not only for Sharjah or the UAE. We aspire to set ourselves as a regional innovation hub for the Middle East. This is where we want to be, and this is the positioning that we are trying to build and achieve. It is associated, as I said, with universities, and in this case is with the American University of Sharjah, which I happen to be the CEO of the American University of Sharjah Enterprise, and not the American University of Sharjah University. Because the company has, the university has, or the ruler, who is the chair of the university, started a commercial entity to help develop the ecosystem of the innovation in Sharjah. Through our journey, we've been all over the world. We've been partnering with science and applied science institutions, big companies, universities, and the whole innovation ecosystem. We also started to do this here. A few days ago, we signed with Masdar City. We will be cross-promoting our tenants and our research. And we already have some examples that we will be announced shortly. And this is, again, to enforce that this venture in which we are all in only can thrive through true partnership and collaboration. And it cannot be one man or one entity show. This is just typical free zone things, which I hate to talk about, to be honest, because I don't want to position or talk about our park as a free zone, because that's not where we are. We focus on 6 main areas. We focus on the development of water technology, production design and architecture, mobility, logistics and smart cities, digitization, renewable energy, and environmental technology. Why? Because we believe these are not only regional growing and potential sectors, but I think these are also global, and we believe that in Sharjah, within our colleges, we have strong colleges that can support this sector, and we have a strong private sector that also can support us doing these things. So if I name a few, within, for example, the environment, we have the biggest environmental company in this region in Sharjah, which is BIA. If I talk about transport, we have the biggest budget airline in this region, which is Air Arabia. And we have, believe it or not, also the biggest privately owned port management companies in the world, which is Gulf Tainer. Sharjah company manages 2 ports in America and other parts of the world. This is our headquarters, which will be finished by December. And yes, there are a lot of variation within the development of this beautiful building. This will be an open innovation building under the umbrella of or under the domes of these buildings, we will have science institutions, we will have accelerators, we will have small and medium enterprises, we have anchor tenants, we have other enablers that we believe this, in connection to the university city and to the private sector, should be a home for innovation for this region. These are our current offices, Block A and Block B. Block A, we sit on them. Block B, we have different set of companies. From global applied science institutions like Fraunhofer and Vito from Brussels, to amazing local entrepreneurs companies like CAFU, which we have their R&D office at the park. And this is a unicorn, I think, is gonna happen from the UAE, because now they are here, but they have the plan to go to Nigeria, which is 220 million, Egypt 85 million, Saudi 35 million. And imagine how this company will grow. To Nokia, where we are setting up the largest 5G testing ground in this region. By December, January, we will be having 7 towers testing 7 types of smart cities and IoT application with Nokia at the park. I talked about the printing of the house, but I will leave it to the last. But we are also next month starting to print metal. This will be big, I think. I think this will be very influential for industries like oil and gas, automotive, and I think construction as well. I spoke about CAFU. So this is also a very interesting project, a Skyway. Starting this Saturday, you will see a flying pods flying in our park. And this is actually it's flying now, but we are announcing it on Saturday. We've been working on this project for the past 2.5 years very quietly. In this park, we will have 4 types of trains, as you can see. Smaller containers and different type of trains. This is a startup company from Belarus doing their whole innovation in Sharjah. With God's grace, if this project pushes through, which is pushing through, the whole manufacturing of this new technology will happen in Sharjah. This will redefine our economy in the UAE and will create a lot of opportunities for all of you as well. So I have the video in my phone with one of these trains flying in the sky, but I will keep it for you guys to watch it on Sunday. It should be on TV. Merlin is another industry which focuses, or another company which focuses on aquaponics, hydroponics, solar, and sustainable housing. UAE today imports 90% of its vegetables from outside. Imagine if we can use technology and some of the technologies that Paul was talking about, and coming up with our own vegetables here in the UAE. Especially next year we have Expo 2020, so a lot of people will come. They need a lot of fresh vegetables. So we are creating a new set of industries in the country and creating a new economic impact as we go forward. Another project, which is, not this one. Okay, this one. So in this building, we will have what we call Sharjah Open Innovation Lab. 2 floors of this big building will be dedicated for makerspace, you know the concept of makerspace. So rapid prototyping, 3D printing, textile, electronics, wood. And will be open for student entrepreneurship, small and medium companies, faculties to come and co-create their own products and their own technologies. The overall objective is to come up with smart manufacturing and smart factories. Today with technologies, we can use a smaller space, less energy, to produce things that are more competitive going forward. MEET is our Middle East engineering technology. This is a project that was in collaboration with Jinko Mr. Bipin is here, he's going to talk to you later about it, and the American University Engineering Department, and Oulu Technical University from Finland, and SAIBI from Holland. This is a typical example of how we are approaching these emerging technologies and how we are trying to bring them into the market, making sure that they are competitive and they grow. So I will leave it to the end, and I think later on Mr. Bipin will probably give you more information about how this. So this house actually is already printed in Sharjah last week, and I don't know whether you saw it on the news or not, but it's printed in Sharjah last week, and as we speak, we are refining this technology as we go forward. Arada is a big construction project, mixed-use construction, neighboring projects to the technology park, which they wanted to set up a water treatment plant, and our condition was, we will give you the land, in one condition you set up a water R&D center, which they agreed. This is a partnership between Prince Khalid bin Walid bin Talal of Saudi and a royal from Sharjah. So we are hoping out of this water R&D center, again, to create next generation water treatment plant that people can have no problem living next to, plant that can be an educational plant, and plant that will allow us to create new technologies and promote water-related technologies as well. I spoke about the metal 3D printing. Hopefully next month we're starting with Amensa to do this project. I spoke about the 5G in the park. This is a 20 million square piece of land, by the way, dedicated purely for research and development. And it's open for you. It was designed for you as an industry to come forward and be part of this journey. And this is an enabler for you as a business as well. So we understand research does cost a lot, but the government is taking most of the costs associated with research and development by having those big universities next door, which is equipped with state-of-the-art labs and equipment and top global talents, basically to work with you. And also very smart set of students that are available. But it's a mindset, as I spoke in the beginning. The ecosystem is not only about the building, it's about mindsets. It's about promoting and a conviction that we should develop within our own companies that R&D is important for our survival. We cannot continue the way that we are. That's very clear. So I will really call upon you to really embed this in your thinking as a company, as a corporation. Even with a small budget, that's okay. But it's very important that you start this. Again, part of the ecosystem, we are setting up the regional United Nations Technology Innovation Lab. This exists in different parts of the world, in Finland, in Malaysia, in Europe. For this region, will be in Sharjah. And again, will give us access to best practices globally, new opportunities, new projects, new technology development in India and Malaysia and Finland and Hamburg and other parts of the world. And these are all new opportunities for you as well. So, between now and December, you should see 80% of what I spoke to in place, if not almost 100%. We have other projects that we are working on, but it's not here, related to autonomous cars. And one more, I forgot because Paul spoke a lot about VR and AR. We are setting up within the park an experiential center where we will have virtual reality, gamification, augmented reality, experience center available for corporates, for students, for faculty to come and use to sell better, to improve your work better, and to do basically your job in the best way you can. A little bit of what we've done with the 3D construction project. As I said, we consider this as an R&D project, a collaboration between academia, private sector, and government. We launched this project technically a couple of weeks ago, and we continue to refine the technology, we continue to refine the materials that we use, and we continue to refine the software associated with it. So this is a very exciting example that we've launched, and Pippin can talk to you about the benefits so far he is getting out of this project, maybe. But we want to continue this with other technologies as well. And I think one reason why we started with this, because from day one, we knew that construction is a big industry in this region, and it makes sense that we start with it. And this platform, thank you, Tariq, and other forum, I don't think it cannot get any better, for us at least, to communicate this message to you, that you are in a fantastic industry that has a lot of potential in this part of the world. But to be able to unlock this, I think we need to think different and we need to work different. And I think we need to embed education and R&D in our businesses, as businesses. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best.